In the bustling city of New York, nestled among the towering skyscrapers, lived a hard-working clock repairer named George. The shop was renowned for its intricate clockwork, drawing customers from all over the country. One day, a wealthy man named Robert entered George's shop. He held a pocket watch in his hand, its intricate design hinting at the craftsmanship within. But Robert revealed that despite its elegance, the watch had stopped working. He wanted George to fix it. George examined the watch. It was clearly old and needed a lot of work, so he asked for a week to complete the repair. "That's way too long," Robert exclaimed. "I need the watch fixed by tomorrow. How about this? I'll double the price you normally charge." Intrigued by the challenge and the financial incentive, George agreed. The following day, Robert returned to collect the watch, but upon seeing the restored timepiece, he declared, "This is incredible, but I told you to fix it by tomorrow. Today is the day after tomorrow, so you didn't meet my deadline." Alarmed by Robert's words, George felt a sense of dread. He knew he had worked diligently throughout the night to complete the repair, but he couldn't argue with Robert's logic. Just then, Robert added, "But since you did such an amazing job, I'll pay you 3 times the normal price." George couldn't help but smile. Despite the tight deadline, he loved the satisfaction of breathing new life into old watches. To him, the joy of the restoration process was its own reward. The additional payment was simply a bonus. However, Robert continued, "And to make things right, I want you to come with me to a party tonight. There you'll meet several influential people who could bring you many more clients. If you refuse, I'll expose your dishonesty, claiming that you didn't finish the watch on time." Feeling trapped, George had no choice but to accept Robert's invitation. As the evening progressed, George found himself at a loss amidst the lively partygoers. It seemed as though everyone there knew each other except for him. That's when a woman named Emily approached him. "You seem a bit lonely," she remarked. George explained his predicament, and Emily suggested he visit the garden for a change of scenery. "It's quiet and peaceful there," she said. "Maybe it'll help." In the garden, George discovered a serene fountain surrounded by lush greenery, providing a tranquil escape from the noisy party. As he admired his surroundings, he heard a familiar voice. "So you're the dishonest clock repairer Robert told me about." Startled, George turned to find a man standing before him. "What did he tell you?" George asked cautiously. "He said you were such a talented clock fixer that he brought you here." The man continued, "But I don't need a watch repairer. I'm looking for a personal secretary. Robert described you as honest and hardworking, which is why I'm offering you this position. Would you like to be my secretary?" Overwhelmed by surprise, George didn't immediately reply. The prospect of becoming a secretary was completely different from his dream of being a clock repairer. When he finally spoke, his voice reflected his deep thought. "Thank you for the offer, but I'm not interested in becoming a secretary." Disappointed, the man responded, "Too bad. I had high hopes for you, but perhaps you're not as honest and hardworking as Robert claimed." And with that, he left, leaving George to his thoughts. In that moment, George realized the importance of his decision. If he had taken the secretary job, he would have missed out on repairing the watch, which had led to the chance encounter with a man who needed a secretary. Suddenly, the words spoken by the mysterious man echoed in George's mind. "So you're the dishonest clock repairer Robert told me about." Was he referring to George's initial lie about completing the watch on time, or was he truly suggesting that George was honest and hardworking? The realization hit him hard. His whole life, George had let others dictate his path. Whether it was studying a specific subject in school, getting into a particular college, or choosing a profession, he had never once followed his own aspirations. Now he had the opportunity to take control of his life and pursue his dream of becoming a full-time clock repairer. However, he had blown it by refusing the job offer. Overwhelmed with remorse, George rushed back to the party. Amidst the crowd, he spotted Robert and Emily, engaged in a conversation. George swiftly approached them. "Mr. Robert," he called out, hoping to grab Robert's attention. Robert turned around, surprised by George's sudden appearance. "Is there a problem, George?" he asked. "I need to apologize," George began, his voice filled with sincerity. "Earlier I allowed you to pressure me into accepting your friend's job offer. I was wrong to do that." "Oh, I understand," Robert said with a reassuring smile. "It's perfectly fine. Not everyone is suited for a job in sales. You're better off doing what you love." George felt relieved by Robert's understanding. "But there's something else," George continued, his determination evident in his voice. "I won't disappoint you. Give me another chance." "What do you mean?" Robert asked, intrigued by George's sudden shift in attitude. "I want to be your regular clock repairer." George declared, his eyes shining with renewed purpose. "From now on, I'll make sure to never let you down." Touched by George's passion and commitment, Robert reached out and clasped his shoulder. "I knew you were the right man for the job," he said with a warm smile. "Don't worry about what happened earlier. Let's start fresh. I need you to repair a watch for me tomorrow. Meet me at my office at 9 a.m. sharp." George nodded eagerly. "Yes, sir, I'll be there tomorrow at 9 a.m. With a newfound determination, George went home that night. He couldn't sleep, his mind buzzing with excitement and plans. At midnight, his neighbor, Mrs. Peters, knocked on his door. "Can you fix my clock? I need it repaired as soon as possible." Normally, George would have declined, citing busyness. But tonight was different. He saw an opportunity to showcase his skills. "Of course," he replied enthusiastically. "Drop it off tomorrow morning. I'll have it fixed by noon." Mrs. Peters was surprised by his sudden eagerness, but she accepted his offer, not realizing the significance of that moment. At 8:30 the next morning, George was already in Robert's office. Robert was impressed by his punctuality. "Good," he said, handing over the watch. "Fix it quickly. I'll be back around noon. Show it to me when I return." George took the watch and, examining it closely, quickly identified the issue. With his heart pounding, he began the repair. Hours passed. By noon, Robert returned. George, sweaty and tired, presented the fixed watch to him. Robert was amazed. "It looks like new," he exclaimed, winding the watch. "Well done. You have a bright future ahead of you." George beamed with pride, his years of dedication and love for his craft finally being recognized. Later that day, he heard a knock at his door. It was Mrs. Peters. "Here's my watch," she said, holding out the beautifully repaired clock. "It's like new." "Thank you so much." "You're welcome," George replied with a smile. "Anytime." Word spread quickly about George's exceptional skills. Soon his workshop was filled with watches and clocks needing his touch. George's journey was a testament to the power of pursuing one's dreams. Despite facing challenges and setbacks, his unwavering passion and persistence paid off, allowing him to turn his hobby into a thriving career. His story serves as a reminder that success often lies at the intersection of dedication and pursuing one's true calling. And that's the end of our story for today. We hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Also, if you'd like to support our channel and get access to exclusive content, please consider becoming a patron. Your support helps us continue producing high-quality content and reach more audiences. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.